and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 24. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we have returned with our TVP. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Violet Square, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Oh, that is not the Streamer Zone logo. My apologies. I will fix that. I'll get all over that. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player. The American Terran, the blue Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Vindicta. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Get your gambler going because predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Will go the way of Migs or Gerald, the Terran or the Protoss. We're here to find out. We're here to find out here again. Gerald, he has been improving so much over the past couple of years. It's great to see him joining a new team as well. He was on Storm for such a long time, but did recently join Streamer Zone. Streamer Zone, of course, picking up a lot of players and supporting them quite well. Gerald even able to represent them recently at Home Story Cup, which was great to see. On the flip side though, Migs, he has also been active once again. Nowadays, he's less of a full-time committed pro player, but has still been dedicating a lot of time to competing, to playing, to streaming as well, to his YouTube channel, of course. Plenty of good content on his YouTube, and we'll see how he compares to Gerald. Here we go. For now, he does scout, it does check for a proxy here at the third location. Going for an economic opener, single gas, going for a Rax into expansion. So CC on the low ground is going to be thrown down. Likewise, Gerald's going for a gate cyber expand as well. Now, when it comes to openers, this does make plenty of sense, going for something more economic. The reason for this, one, welcome one and all to Neo Violet Square. It has been many years. You know, it's like we're back in 2017. It's crazy. We're full of hope. Blizzard is still supporting the game. You know, we have WCS Premier League. We got GSL. We got good times. But yeah, we're back here in Neo Violet Square. Very large map. Very large map. Likewise, we have a pocket base as well here as a potential third or a fourth. Very easy to actually stabilize and get into a 3-base economy as a result. Likewise, the fourth base as well, also quite fortifiable, quite defendable, thanks to the terrain, thanks to the ramps, thanks to the choke points as well. So this is one of the maps where we can embrace the mid game and the late game quite easily. Meanwhile, the Reaper does get across the map. Oh! Chipping away at the initial shield battery, nothing too major. And Gerald should be able to respond as the Stalker is soon to pop. And will defend. Smudge. Smudge, Matthew, smudge. Oh god, as a Vindicta, he does get out. The force field's a little bit misplaced. So Migs, he does escape. Oh, it was back before the Terran Council ruled the world. Ah no. Neo Violet Square. But we're getting into our 1-1-1. Rax into factory to starport here from Vindicta. Likewise, Gerald's back at home, just securing himself. Didn't quite get the Reaper, but overall, he's just looking quite solid here. Getting his natural up and running. Backup gateway. Blink is on the way, as it is a Twilight Council opener. Just so far, so good. Everything looking as it should. Oh! As Reaper doesn't get in. Doesn't quite get in. Gerald's going for a 2-gate blink opener into a third. A very fast third base here out of Gerald. Very economic. And again, this is something you just can't get away with on Neo Violet Square. The greed is real. It's all about that game of greed. We'll see when and if Vindicta throws down his own third TC. As so far, Gerald just getting away with cutting corners. You know, he's down to 2 units, but he has a third. Robo's now on the way. And he's gearing up towards the mid-game. And he's looking to be in quite a solid economic position. Meanwhile, Migs following this up with a mine drop. Only a single Widow mine, not very committed, but it is spotted by the hallucination. It's spotted. And Gerald, he can move in position as well. Has plenty of time to reinforce his main. And to respond. Bold move, Gerald, he moves out with the Stalkers. Okay, we'll get a couple of shots off, but that means they're not in the main base. Okay, we do have a warp in, 1 Stalker. And the army will rotate. And the medevac will be, just chilling here outside the main. Meanwhile, Migs, he does pull some of the boys. Okay, very committed. He's getting his third CC on location, but a very committed move out nonetheless. We have, what do we have? We have Marines, vanilla Marines, no upgrades, no stim. One tank is moving out as well. As the army does funnel through the Pachinko machine. Let's go. And we'll see what Vindicta can achieve here. He can threaten the natural, maybe go for the pylon. It's very ambitious. Gerald is distracted. He has 6 soldiers to defend with Blink. Does dive in. Force field not quite able to wall off. Ooh. SCVs are going to go down. Tank is targeted. The tank falls. Without the tank, there's nothing here. Migs, he has to back off. The tank was the backbone of the army. It's no longer there. Gerald chasing him down. Oh, the tank. Oh. Tank shot going up. And Gerald will back off. Will retreat. Meanwhile, in the midst of all that, Liberator to get into the main. 4 probe kills, not bad. 4 workers go down, but Migs did lose a tank, and as a result, even though he does get 4 workers, Gerald still has a massive economic advantage. He's got up to 60 probes, 3 base saturation. Gateways are finishing up. Colossus production has begun. So far, Gerald, he's looking primed to embrace the mid-game here, even peeling off, even shaving off some of those Marines. And Migs, he's stuck at home. Now, thankfully, he can expand, and his third base is left untouched, thankfully. So he's maintaining himself, but he's contained. He's stuck at home. And from here, Gerald can just take a 4th. And he will. He can, and he will take a 4th base. And again, Gerald, he can just save the pocket base for later. There's no need, there's no reason to expand here in this southern location if he doesn't need to. And there's the 4th. So Gerald just maintaining his advantage. Likewise, Migs gearing up and getting up to his 5-rack setup. Stim, Viking production. I mean, everything here is looking solid, but the problem is that he's still, again, stuck at home. He will eventually break out once all these upgrades kick in. Then he can take a 4th, and we might just head into a macro game from there. Or he might commit. Here we go. 4 CCs on the way. Is expanding. Well, that means picture tense, Pappy. Picture tense. Migs, he's getting ready to expand. To turtle up, I would imagine. Scans across map, sees the 4th base of Gerald. Which is finishing up. And I appreciate that Gerald, again, there's no, like, real rush here for Gerald. He's just taking. He's just taking up. He's up to 3 Colossus. What's next? Temple Archives. Temple Archives into Storm, Archons, Charge Loss +1. 4 base saturation. Gerald likewise taking it slow. Again, there's no pressure on Gerald to try to push up the ramp into the 3rd. Or into the natural. There is no rush. Gerald, he does confirm the 4th CC with the hallucination. He sees the tank setup. And Gerald, he rotates. Is now being active. And now this is going to be the main point of contention. Unlike the natural, here there's no ramp, right? There's no high ground advantage here for Vindicta. It is more wide open as well, more accessible. And Gerald, he's moving in. Oh. Does move in, cashes out some stray units. Likewise, massive warp in into the main. Vikings, they shut down the prism, but not before the warp in. Massive warp in here. Zelce busts into the mineral line. They came for the production. And here comes Gerald. Oh, that is a line of 5 tanks, though. Jesus. That's a lot of tanks. Massive tank shots going up. Zelts go down, but at the same time, Zelts wreak havoc in the main. So Vindicta, he holds on to his 4th, but the main base is under fire. Add-ons going down, catching out a ghost as well. Gerald rotating over. I do like this. Vindicta not quite in position. And Gerald, he can just go straight for the natural. Tanks are not here. Yeah, the tanks have to unsiege. Colossus, they have the ramp. As Gerald, he's making his way into the main. Gets a ghost. He can't always recall, but he's getting surrounded. Gerald, can he break through? Oh, does force field, just barely. One Colossus goes down, two Colossus, and Gerald, he might just lose everything here. Again, he's gonna have to recall. So far, trading decently well. Another Colossus falls. He's gonna lose everything. He'll lose every single Colossus. Gerald, he does get to 12 SCVs, but at a cost. I mean, that was good economic damage, true. There's the recall. Oh, does he save it? Does not. Does not save the Colossus. And back at home, what does Gerald have? Now, he still has an economy. He's still on 4 base saturation, getting the gold base as well. 80 probes. He has an insane economy. What about the army? Gateway units. Zealots and Stalkers. He has, oh my god, speaking of gateway units, gee, that's a lot of storm. He's fine, Pappy, he's fine. Now, he did lose all the Colossus, and replacing Robo units takes a long time. It takes a long time to replace Immortals, Colossus, Disruptors, but what doesn't take a long time is High Templar. Just warp them in, and they're good to go. Especially with the NG overcharge. So storms are ready. Of course, this army is vulnerable to EMPs, true. EMPs can shut this down. But Gerald, he maintains a supply lead. He's moving out. And Migs is still trying to recover from those earlier losses. It's one of those things where, sure, Gerald lost his army, but he could afford to lose the army. Vindicta less so. Mark's being knocked down. That's going to be at least 4 storms. Oh, boy. Nice tank positioning, though. Siege line pops off. Warp isn't back to the... Oh, the warp it is denied! Let's go! This time it is denied. Vindicta, he's holding. He's holding on, Pappy. Supplies are evening up. Migs is supply block, though. That will slow him down. Has to break out of the supply block. Lib in towards the 3rd. Not bad. Getting 4 probes. Main army pushing in. Where are the EMPs? Oh, first storm will zone. Grazes the army. 7 probes going down. Migs trying to chase this back. Oh, EMP on the Archon. Not bad. Meanwhile, the High Templar. Wait, were they caught out? No shot. Oh my god. I did miss that, but the High Templar, they did go down. Zealots, but they come in from behind. They collapse on the tanks. Massive move. Tanks go down. Planetary does hold. Migs taking a supply lead here. Takes down the Archons. Archons go down. Stalkers as well. I do apologize. I did miss it, but apparently of those 4 High Templar, they did get picked off. At least 3 of them did. And Migs, he's breaking out. He does have the supply. He's send it, Pappy. He's scared. He sees the gold. He has to stop it. He has to do something about the gold base. But he doesn't have enough. He's consolidating his army. Gerald taking... What is this? Like a 6th expansion? Jesus. The base count is insane. As he's working towards Disruptors. Gerald's building back up. Vindicta is still licking his wounds. Has a decent ghost count. Did lose all of his tanks earlier. Bear that in mind. So his defensive position isn't as strong as it once was. Gerald's army is not spotted. Vindicta out of position. Gerald going for the production. Gets both tech labs. Gets a broader. Nice EMP. He goes off. At the same time, a Zealot Archon counterattack getting set up from behind. Heading straight for the production, catching a tank. 1 tank goes down. Massive pickup. Disruptors coming in. Storms and Novas, they don't quite connect. Nice moves here so far from Vindicta. Getting trying to defend on 2 fronts. Gets an EMP off. And he holds. And for the first time all game, supply lead. For the first time all game, Vindicta does take a supply lead. He's crazy. Storms, they once again graze the army. Nice splits out of Migs. Does split well. And again, Gerald, has he lost too much? Losing the Colossus earlier, losing all the High Templar earlier as well. He's having expensive losses. High Templar morphing in. So 4 more High Templar. He has 1 Storm thanks to the overcharge. Gerald's moving forward. Meg's still just trying to survive. I do think he could have been a little bit more assertive here. Like, after that initial defense, I think he could have counterattacked. But so far, Meg's playing it safe. Ooh. Bleeds out a ghost. Nice EMP. Does catch 2 High Templar. Gerald once again diving into the main. There is a Viking in position. Can he get the warp in? He's going for the pocket base. And it looks like the warp in will complete. Yeah, this time it will. Prism goes down, warp in completes. Meanwhile, the main army collapses on the 4th. Never goes up. Up. The splits though. Oh my god. The splits, Pappy. Avoids it over. But the Zealous is still wreaking havoc. Again, this warp in was huge. Meg's getting torn apart. Storm zoning. Liberator goes down. Meg's will lose 5 SCVs. Only 5. Only 5 workers go down. Meg's defends. Cleans up the army. Holds on to the front line. Does get supply blocked. Did lose a couple of depots here at the pocket base. That will stop Meg's from remaxing. Meanwhile, Gerald's still maintaining his position. Moving out. Meg's going into a second starport into live range. The freedom, it's coming, Pappy, it's coming. The freedom. Meanwhile, Gerald, he has 3 storms, or soon to have 3 storms. DT counter-stack towards left-hand side. That's a lot of DTs, oh my god. That's a lot of Dark Templar. That's 10. Nova goes up. Is there detection? There is. Migs, he scanned earlier. He saw the Dark Templar. He's aware. He does rotate. Splits up his army. DT's going for the dive. They have blink. Oh! And then dive in. But not quite. They blink away. Thankfully, does blink away. Recall towards the southern expansion. Migs finally moving out. And Vex are exposed. Oh! They do get away. Migs, he does find the Dark Templar, just barely. He'll bleed out 2 ghosts in the process. Not a clean trade. He does find the Dark Templar. Scans ahead of time, does catch 2 of them. 1 DT survives. Nice cleanup here by Migs. And this double drop will force supply to be pinned back at home. 4 Stalkers at the 6th base, 3 in the main. That's good enough for Migs. Meanwhile, Gerald, he does rotate. Army gets spotted. You can see how awkward it is to rotate between the bases here for Migs. Storms here in the middle line. 7 SCVs go down. Nova Light Quest connecting with the Ghost. Again, Migs having a hard time reinforcing. We'll defend though. We'll hold. Gerald taking another expansion. Jesus. He's got his entire half of the map. Migs going for the gold. When the Prism runs into the turrets, random turrets, I mean, they pay off. Do pay off in the end. Prism goes down. Army pushing in. Oh. Has to traverse the Pachinko machine. Has to make his way through massive storm. Oh my god. The best connection we've seen so far. Oh, the Archons are getting trapped. Oh god. The squares are deadly. Be careful. Stay out of the squares, Pappy. Your shape is a triangle. So now Gerald, he does pull away. Has a lot of DTs in this army. You don't fit. And both armies are maxed. Both armies are maxed out at this point. It's a lot of EMPs though. EMPs, they blanket the army. Catching up the Archons. There's 1 storm. Speaking of, storm goes up. Nice connection. Massive DT counterattack coming in once again. And this time there's no army in position. There is a Liberator. There is a Planetary. They go for the dive. Not a lot of surface area though. But the Planetary will still go down. And massive pickup. Planetary falls. Again, I do like the reduced surface area on it, but still. DTs, they just do so much damage. Now, at least Vindicta, he has the gold, so that does make up for it. Lose an expansion, but he has the gold base. Likewise, Vindicta, he is super maxed. He's down to 65 workers, 65 SCVs. So he has a lower worker count, but he makes up for it with a larger army. As the scan does reveal the army of Gerald. Does rotate. Takes down the Liberator. Going for the CC. Migs, he's not quite ready for this. That's the MPs though. They start Geralt away. Too soon. Geralt taking more expansions. Taking more bases. But again, I mean, this also just displays like the big feature of Neon Violet Square and some of these other maps in the map pool as well. It's a large map, it's also a very defendable map. Like, Vindicta, he's just been playing full defense the entire game. And he's been holding. He's been difficult to break. Expanding from here can be difficult for Vindicta, but for now he is holding on. Moving out with his army, trying to set up a surround. Oh. Setting up the surround. DTs, they do attempt to waddle in. Storm going up. One Colossus goes down, and he collapses in. He commits. He has freedom. Massive EPs on the Archons. At the same time, DTs, they do take down a tank. But Geralt, he's running out of DTs. They're being cleared out over time. No storms! And no storms. Massive EMPs. Zealots, they do trade somewhat well. Vikings forced to land. And Mixie will take this fight. He will take it. Not the cleanest fight, but he does take it nonetheless. Massive wave of Zealot reinforcements coming in. These two DTs, they're putting in the work. They're doing what they can. And they kill 17 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. It's actually forcing Vindicta all the way back home. He's racing back for 2 Dark Templar. Army comes in. Takes down more SCVs. Migs, he's hurting. He's hurting. Finally, the Dark Templar go down. Geralt, he's maxed out. Migs no longer. Yeah, he has no bank. He has no bank. He needs another expansion. He needs resources. He's down to 46 SCVs. And I think Geralt has done it. I think he's finally done it. He's just whittled Vindicta down over time. Random Disruptor does walk in. And again, Migs was playing this so well for so long. Ay, ay, ay. Medevac falls. Migs trying to take another expansion. He does need it. And Geralt, he's rotating. He's rotating over. What does he go for? Oh. Liberator's repositioned. The gold base is exposed. And he collapses on the gold. And Migs is not quite ready for this. We do have some nukes across the map. Planetary goes down. Geralt, he's running away with this here. The nukes, they will connect. Up, 1 and 2. Nukes, they pop up. They take down 29 pros. Alas, that would have been amazing earlier. Like, the problem here is that look at the bank. Geralt, he has 6k, 6k. Now 4k, 6k as he makes 20 zealots. Jesus. Warps in a massive wave of zealots. But Geralt, he can sustain himself. Despite losing all those probes, it doesn't matter. As he's making his way towards the natural, towards the planetary, blinks in. Planetary will fall. Just with a purely gateway army at this point. And it's going to be enough to overwhelm Vindicta. Migs, he played well, Pat. He played well. I mean, if he's able to buy a little bit more time, but he's forced to engage. Zealots, they charge in, they collapse on the army. And despite all the kiting here, it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Gerald will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Gerald will take a lead in the series. And Vindicta, again, he played so well this game, turtling, maxing out, had some better fights, some better engagements, but the reality is that he never got to counterattack. He was never able to move out across the map, he was never able to punish the bases. We saw finally some probe kills towards the end with those nukes, but as we pointed out, it was too little too late. Too little too late by that point. Gerald, he had already redeemed the rewards of all those expansions, of all those bases, reaped the rewards even. He had a booming economy, had a massive bank, did not matter. And with that, despite losing some crucial engagements, despite losing some key units, Gerald was able to remax. He was able to remax, rebuild, and just overwhelm the Terran over time. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2. Whew, oh my god. That was an intense game 1. It was intense. Now we're getting to game 2. It's going to be on Abyssal Reef. Oh, let's do it all over again. Abyssal Reef, similar to Neon Violet Square, is also... similar to the Neon Violet Square, it's also a very large map, also a lot of bases, also very defendable on 3, 4, and 5 expansions as well. So does share some similar features here, so we could see another similar game state. If Migs wants to, he can approach that in a very similar fashion, where he just turtles up, slowly gets a 3rd, 4th, 5th base, cuts the map in half, maxes out. This can kind of lead into that kind of scenario as well, but we'll see. We'll see how our players do approach this. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the American Terran player, the Red Terran representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go. Here we go, as it does sound like our... Oh, here we go. Does sound like our upper semifinals is ready for us. So once we wrap up this series, we'll head on over to the upper semis and then the lower semifinals. We'll get into those results after the series as well. We'll get into the results after. We'll get there. Here we go. As for now, we do have Gerald's going for his own Gate Expand. Or Gate Cyber Expand, standard opener so far here out of Gerald's. Meanwhile, Vindicta back at home, likewise Single Gas. Single Gas opener going for a faster CC on the low ground. So economic openers all around so far. But it's great to be under the sea once again. Meanwhile, shout out to Nick Racked in the chats. One, for competing. We'll be featuring him later on in the evening, don't get me wrong. But he's letting us know that Milky Cow is active once again. It's nice to hear. Again, Milky Cow, he was very much so a predominant player in the European region a couple of years ago. Then I was afraid he had retired. I was afraid that he had retired, and he was inactive. He was, competing every now and then, but nothing too major. But apparently, we're being informed that he has actually been competing more often recently. He has been laddering, has been more active. The return of the cow, Fappy. Let's go. He's an animal. We're always fan of the animals here. But yeah, cool to hear. Cool to hear. Might be able to feature some Milky Cow at some point in our tournaments. It's possible. Possible. But now that we're calming things down, there's that CC on low ground, as I did mention. Likewise, Gerald is expanding. And Gerald, he does confirm this with the Probe Scout. Does confirm. Migs going for a second Rax and for a third. Let's go. First, a second and third Rax get thrown down. It's going to be a 3 Rax build here by Vindicta. This is going to be a very strong stim timing, even initially opening up with Reactor Reaper to move out across the map for some map control, for some scouting. But in general, this can hit quite hard. But I'm on the fence as to the build of choice, to be honest, especially on Abyssal Reef. I can see it already here as Gerald, he comes in with Hallucination, and Gerald will confirm everything in the main. He sees, he spots the 3 Racks. And what I can see already here, if Vindicta isn't too careful, the Force Field. Something that we bring up, speaking of, there's a Sentry, Ramp. Here on Abyssal Reef, there's a very narrow choke point coming into the natural, and it can be brutal for any kind of aggressive play, any kind of all-in pushing up this ramp. So if Migs does attempt, he can be force fielded. Of course, the alternate route to rotate towards the left-hand side could find some more success as we do force field the ramp, and the Reaper gets shot down. Nice clean up there by Gerald. Vindicta can come in from the left instead, but likewise, here is a also very narrow choke point. Very narrow choke point, as Gerald should be expanding, taking a third base. We'll see how successful Vindicta's move out is going to be, as he's working towards Marauder production, towards Concussive Shell. Third base is soon to be taken, and Gerald will set up. And again, because he's scouted, he's fully aware of the bio push that's coming his way. Is aware of what's coming. Gerald throwing down 2 gateways initially, before the expansion. So this will be 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink out of our Protoss. Into that third. Now here comes Vindicta's move out. Is spotted by the Stalkers. Does catch one of them. Nice catch. Stalker goes down. Blink is still not yet done. So Gerald, he has to be wary, has to be careful. Does feel like Blink is delayed, might I add, but Migs is pushing. Gerald, he's racing back home. Did fully wall off the ramp, but doesn't really have much to work with currently here. And again, without Blink, this is going to be a brutal hold for Gerald. Migs, he can pop off. Can pop off. Does hit the third. Concussive Shell is done. Threatening the expansion. Gerald hallucinating some of those Stalkers. Does push in. Oh! And Migs, he goes straight for the sentries first. Takes out both sentries. Hallucinations, they tank some shots. Nicely done. Immortal has arrived. And with the help of the Immortal, yeah, Gerald, he will hold. He will hold. He will shut this down. There's no escaping this. We'll trade with some of the Stalkers. But looking at the trade, that was 4 Marauders, that was 9 Marines for 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries. Oh, that was a better trade for Gerald. He saves the third base, does outtrade his opponent, and now we can establish and saturate that third. Can saturate back at home. Vindicta working on that next step, getting to his 3-1-1 setup. Starporters on the way, and third CC on location. So we back off, we calm things down, we're working towards the mid game. Again, we could be here for quite some time. We go. Meanwhile, we have our splash damage of choice. Gerald is going from 3-gate blink into Colossus. Into Colossus production, not Storm. Not yet. Colossus are building up. Gerald trying to catch out any kind of drop play. Moving out with his Stalkers. Moving past the turtle. Let's go. Vindicta, he's establishing himself, taking up in towards Ghost. Ghost Academy's on the way. Upgrades alongside them. And both players, they're just building up towards that 3-base economy. Gerald does maintain map control for the time being. Marine confirms saturation. Gas is now being taken. Mix still building up. Has opted to forego most of his factory production for now. Just now getting to Widow Mines. But no tanks. Unlike the previous game, his defensive setup isn't going to be as strong, isn't going to be as potent. He's a much more bio-heavy hero early on. Which means he can soon move out. Can soon push. Which I appreciate. Do appreciate it. Gerald taking his 4th. Now diversifying his splash damage. He's got Colossus, yes, but now working towards Storm. Temple Archives on the way. And Migs, he will find the Stalkers. We'll find them. Still building up his ghost counts. He's getting up to 2. Getting up to 3 ghosts. Sorry, 2 ghosts for now. Once he builds up, he can be more confident in moving out. So takes down the Observer. Nice catch. And here comes the drop play. Double drop towards the north. Main army towards the center. Observer went down, and these Stalkers are not in position this time. They don't spot this. Don't spot the move out. Again, this map is so large, it's difficult to really get eyes on everything that's going on. From our player's perspective, I mean. As there are just so many attack paths. Stalkers back off, Zealots get spotted, Migs he can respond to them. And Gerald, he's just taking another base. He's just getting a 5th. Let's go! Getting a 5th expansion. Now diversifying and getting to Disruptors alongside Colossus. Storm is finishing up as well, getting all 3 forms of splash damage. Let's go. And we spoke about this coming into Abyssal Reef, but similar to Neon Violet Square, this 5-base setup is very secure. Very secure. The 6th base is more exposed, true, but the 5-base setup is very defendable. As you have this cliff face, you have the high ground. You got choke points. This area is more wide open, but oh, nice EMP! EMP connects. There's still one storm. One storm left over. Drop into the natural. Oh, storm does connect. Jump forced out of there. And Migs backs up. Migs does retreat. Prism into the natural is cleaned up. Nicely done. Just shut down the War Prism. Does fall. And again, Migs, he was being assertive, but now he's just going to be retreating, getting his own expansions. Should be working towards his own 5th expansion as well. Speaking of, yep, there it is. CC's floating over. Getting his 4th base, I should emphasize, as Geralt is up an expansion. He is up a base. And he is vying for map control. Does find the drop. Force it back. Likewise, Liberator here towards left hand side. We'll get a couple of probes, not bad. Gets 4. 4 probes go down. Medevac force back. But Vindicta is still being active, still rotating. He has potential, but there are spotter pylons. Yeah, the pylons are everywhere. And he will come across the Zealot run-by. Better trade for Migs. Catches out the Zealots. Main army pushing in. Planetary's getting ready. But does Migs have enough here? Never goes off. Doesn't connect. Oh, the storms do. Oh my god, he runs through the storms. But he comes in for the surround. He catches out the Colossus. Massive surround. All 3 Colossus go down. The recall's not in time. And Migs, he can send it, Bappy. Send it. Takes the fight. And he's moving out across the map. This time he presses his advantage. He doesn't stay idle. He keeps pushing. Keeps going. Does catch a couple of Stalkers. It was worth taking the storms to the face, but there's more storms. Oh. There was. High Templar goes down. Nice snipe here from Migs. There's one more High Templar. Storm coming in, zones away. Oh my god, the storms. The storms continue. Oof. They connect quite well. Gerald, he's buying time. There's another storm. Here's another storm available. With this High Templar. Makes, oh, does avoid it. More High Templar morphing in. Disruptor has arrived. He might be maxed out, but he's having a hard time pushing in. Due to the non-stop storms. Oh, nice feedback. Feedback on the Ghost. It's that one High Templar. Oh. Oh. The Mind Shot! No! Mind Shot goes off. Takes down the High Templar. I believe there are no storms left. Not yet. One almost available. EMP's going over the main army. That's a lot of Vikings. Charm quite helping here. Mix is being forced back. Nova goes off. No big connection. This army, though, is stripped away from shields. Gerald, can he take the fight? This I'm not so sure about. Oh, it's the final storm. Final storm zones away. Colossus have arrived. And Gerald holds. He does hold on. His economy was untouched. Taking another expansion. Takes another Nexus. Vindicta being forced back. Going for a triple drop into the natural. Cannons are in position. They will unload. Marines, they shut down the cannons. They force a recall. And he has to get the hell out of here. Ooh, barely does escape. Vikings could do well with the main army going for Viking harass instead. So Colossus are back in the mix. Vikings, they threaten some of the mineral lines. They do what they can. Dropping into the main. Like Migs, he might be maxed out, but his army is split. Army is split, and it cannot fight head on. Drops into the main, going for the Dark Shrine. Nice snipe. Does snipe the Dark Shrine. DTs do defend. Gerald catching up the army. And this is going to be a brutal loss here for Migs. Does kite back. Takes out whatever he can. But he should be shut down. And Gerald, he gets the ghost. Gets one. Gets both. Feeds up all the marauders. Makes he falls down in supply. And the main army's pushing in. Ooh. We'll take some mine shots to the face. Gerald pushing in towards the fourth. And they're going off. This time, Migs doesn't have the surround set up. Not this time. But he will get the Colossus. Steaming forward, Colossus does fall. Disruptor as well. Better trade here for Migs. Gets a Colossus and Disruptors. As Gerald did overextend. Behind this, getting into more Disruptors. Back into Colossus. Migs, he's holding on. He's holding back. But again, fights can still go either way here, especially with their storms. If he goes up, massive connection. Connects with 2 Eye Templar. There's still 1 storm. Storm goes up. Going for the Zealot run by. Head up for the 4th. Head for the 4th base. Main army pushes in. I should say, looking for a way in. At this point, I'll be honest. I kind of wanted to see it in the last game. I didn't bring it up. Now would be a really good time for Gerald to embrace Skytoss and to go for like a fleet beacon and some Stargates and start working on upgrades and start getting ready for that kind of transition. Just to outscale Migs. But for now, he's just sticking with Ground Toss. Similar to the last game. Surround is coming in. Massive EMPs. Never goes off. Doesn't connect. And nice target firing here out of Vindicta. Surrounds, takes down both Disruptors. Gerald will retreat. Again, this heavy Marauder army can do quite well against this Robo composition. As Gerald is getting up to triple Robo production. 3 Robos, mass Colossus, let's go. And again, that's kind of what Vindicta wants to face up against. As he's getting into more Liberators. The freedom is coming. The freedom is coming. As Migs is going to be active here towards the south. Skin reveals the army. Ooh. Stray Ghost goes down. Attempted to take the expansion is not going to get up and running. But Migs, he does go towards the top right. Takes down the pylon, depowers and denies the warp in. And there's the recall. But that means no recall towards the south. Migs pulling Geralt apart. Does get into the mineral line. Ooh, prepares the brutal storm. And storm goes off. Another storm as well. Migs, he stands in the storms. Splits against the Nova, but he's going to be cleaned up. Once again, pushing towards the north. Ooh. The entire drop gets cleaned up. But he should get the expansion this time. There we go. Nexus does fall. But Gerald saves most of his workers. Most of the probes are saved. 10 probes going down. He just wants the 6th expansion. So does Gerald. As we mentioned, like, the 6th base is more exposed on this map. That's when you can start getting damage. 6 Necklace. Oh my god, massive connection! That was 4 ghosts, 5 ghosts almost. Yeah, Brutal Nova goes up. Ghosts go down, they can still get one shot, of course. And the Novas are brutal. They take down the Widow Mine. Liberators, they get caught exposed as well. Mix falling apart a little bit here. Lost his Ghosts, lost his Liberators. At the same time, DTs, they deny the expansion. They get into the mineral line. Mix is ready for it though. Does get an EMP up. Catching up more DTs. We do have some laser shots going up. Oh my god, this position is brutal. 11 SCVs. That's 4 Colossus. Oh, nice EMPs. EMPs do connect, but is there a main army that can contest against this? Nervous into the mineral line. 17 SCVs going down. And Stalkers, they counterattack once again. Gerald, he's popping off. Double expanding, getting a 6th and now a 7th expansion. 7th Nexus. The Liberator's trying to keep up. But you can see Vindicta, he's been forced to burn through his bank. He has no bank. Not anymore, Pat. Likewise, Gerald rotates in. Novas go up. Brutal connections. Planetary is going to be falling as well. Decent concave here. Decent surround from Vindicta. Comes in for the flank. Sims on forward. Takes down the Colossus. Takes down the Disruptors. But he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. He cannot chase us down. The Colossus survive. Somehow, someway they live. And it's one of those things, even though Gerald falls in supply, he has a bank. He has a 5k mineral bank. Not as much gas, true. Not as much gas, but plenty of minerals. You can reinforce with pure Zealot. Army dives in. Oh my god, the Colossus shots are brutal. The swipes. The Colossus swipes are insane. Zealot run by here into the 5th base. So into the 4th, I should say. And this time there's no planetary. SCVs are falling. Now, Gerald is missing macro cycles. So because that, Gerald's army is still quite small. Like, he has a bank, but he hasn't maxed out. So we need those warp ins. We need those reinforcements. There we go. He rotates, takes down the northern expansion. At the same time, double jump across the map, but there's the recall. And the Colossus, they escape. They make it back home. They defend. So the Rumbai runs into a planetary. Won't quite achieve too much here. But there's Zelts everywhere else. 17 SCVs falling. And again, it's one of those things where Vindicta, he had some really strong moments here in this game, in this series even. But it's the bank. It's the economy here that's really carrying Gerald. Where he can sustain himself. He can keep trading. As long as he actually warps in. Colossus goes down. Oh my god, the dive! The DTs, they dive on the army. Massive swipes. Oh, Colossus, they overextend. Another Colossus goes down. Okay. Mix is fighting back. Collapsing in the army, taking down another Colossus. I'll be honest, this triple robo setup has not made a unit in quite some time. Like, this is what I mean when I say that Gerald, he's been missing macro cycles, and these robos, they've not been producing anything. Gerald, we need to spend that money. We're warping in Stalkers, but we're down to 1 Colossus, down to 1 Disruptor. 0 Disruptors even. As Migs is re-expanding. He does take a supply lead. True. Gerald taking more bases. Let's go. Does take more expansions, rotating around. There we go. Ah, he found them. He found the robos, making 3 disruptors at a time. This is what we were waiting for. They're back online. And Gerald, he's now maxed. There we go. He does max out. But because it's taken a while for Gerald to max out, and Vindicta, he still has a chance. Still has an army to work with. Stalker's dipping in. The liberation zone's a little bit too far back. As liberators are getting picked up. Ooh, STVs as well. Gerald just taking every base on his half of the map. Oh, pushing in. Decent catch here from Vindicta. Takes out most of the Stalkers. The Colossus! Oh, it's gonna go down. Massive pickup, but where are the disruptors? Where are the disruptors? Where are the Novas? They're coming in. Novas from the left. Gonna be going up. They take down a handful of Marauders, but no major connections. At the same time, Zellarama gets cleaned up. Army pushing in. Liberators were exposed. And Migs, can he take this fight? He's gonna get surrounded. Disruptors denied, but the storms are coming in. And that's a lot of storms. EMPs, they do pop up. Liberation zones are sieging up. Migs fighting well. The freedom. Takes down all the High Templar, takes down the Colossus. There's still 2 disruptors though. There's still 2 Novas. Oh, good. Zoning Migs back. Meanwhile, remember, Migs, he does have a super maxed army. Gerald trying to catch reinforcements. Migs, does he turn back around or does he commit? Until we trade bases. He's coming back. He's coming back home. Does scan. Nova's going up. Ooh. Do connect. And Gerald, he does have the high ground. Makes an awkward position. He has yet to scout that expansion, by the way. I mean, it's not mining, but it's there. As Migs, he does race back home. Gerald setting up for a DT counterattack. He's still holding his own. DTs are set up. It's how many Dark Templar? 8. 8 Dark Templar. Ooh. The freedom is here. He has the freedom. Again, army supplies are quite comparable with each other. Yo, if only Migs knew about this expansion. He's now going to find out as he tries to expand. Ay, ay, ay. It's a free base. A free mineral line. That's a lot of disruptors, though. That is how many? 9 disruptors. That's a lot of Novas. Nova's going up. Migs, he finally spots the expansion. He knows. Getting in position. We'll force Gerald to respond. Does have a couple of High Templar. Army rotates over. And A is catching a couple workers. Oh, CC gets caught out. Novas go up. Command Center falls. Migs trying to set up a flank. Let's respect the army. Once again, setting up Liberators. Getting 5, getting 6 probe kills. Nice damage. Oh, even trading with the Stalkers. Stalkers are going down. Migs, he stems in. Catching out the army. He's trying to. Oh, the Novas, they do connect. Oh my god, massive connections. Not ideal, but the disruptors are left exposed. Yeah, Gerald, he blinks away. Most disruptors do fall. That's what, 6 disruptors going down. Up. Can he get 7? He can. 7 disruptors. Oh god, the storms are brutal. He's on siege. The storms are insane. Oh my god, the surround comes in. And it looks like Gerald, he will take this fight. Takes down the fire, takes down the liberators. Very messy engagement here from both sides, but Gerald does take it. He can keep pushing. Can keep pushing in. Ay, ay, ay. It was still close. But Migs, he's been broken. He has been broken. He's down to Medivacs and a couple of Vikings. Gerald will take this. I mean, I say that Migs, he's forced to back off. He's trying to re-expand. Long distance mining. It's been an uphill battle, and I mean, I shouted to Migs because, mate, he had no bank. He was down in bases, down in workers, down in almost everything, and he still made it close. Like, Gerald, he's burned through most of his bank to get here. Migs was trading more efficiently. He was taking better fights, but it's the greater economy in the end that did carry Gerald through this entire game, as he could afford to lose 9 disruptors at a time and 5 Colossus at a time. It's fine. He's rich, papi. Not as rich as he used to be, but rich nonetheless. As Gerald, he's going to be rotating. Just clearing up these expansions. Still bleeding out a couple of probes here and there. Migs, he does get another base up and running. Let's go. 32 SCVs. 2 CCs in a dream. He lost the main and he lost the natural, by the way. He's floating everything over. Oh, God. Storm's going to be going up. Zoning Migs away from his own main. And Gerald, he's going for the kill move. He's going for the main base, going for the production. And holds onto the ramp. Brutal trying to push up it. And he's breaking in. He's breaking into the main. This has been an hour-long series. I think game 1 was like 25 minutes. Like just under 30 minutes was game 1. And here we've broken the half-hour mark in game 2. Let's go. As Vindicta, he does save the main, but at the cost of the planetary. Oh, doesn't quite commit. Orbital is exposed. Again, this is the natural that was floated over. Is found. Gerald, he will deny it. Will deny the fresh mining base. Trying to go for the kill, doesn't quite get it. Migs, he responds. Void Ray on the Let's go, the token Void Ray. How did a Void Ray, how did we get to that being built? I guess maybe the Liberators, they're just being annoying. True. The range lives, papi. Let's go. Void Ray has arrived. Void Ray will allow Gerald to mine. Maintain himself. Migs, he has an army. He's built back up. He's got how many ghosts? He's got 5 ghosts, 2 libs. Hey, with a couple of well-placed EMPs. If the disruptors, if they miss their novas. If there's no storm because of the EMP, then maybe we have a chance. Oh, Jesus, that's so many high tempo though. Oh my god. We need some miracle EMPs. Oh no, the feedbacks. Feedbacks go up. How many High Templar is that? 13! Oh my god, the feedbacks are insane. 13 High Templar. Ghost Academy goes down. Migs is down to 2 EMPs. Oh, sorry, I should say 2 ghosts. Oh, he wants it. He wants the EMP. And all the stars have to align. Here he comes in. The EMP does connect, by the way. Brutally, people the nervous go off. Oh my god. And alas, there's still just enough of a Protoss army to hold its own, even without the storms. GG gets called, and Gerald will take the series 2-0. GG. Ah, let's go. GG, well played. Gerald, he takes it. Gah, papi, gah. He does take the series. Does advance on to the semifinals, where he's going to be facing off against Euthermal. Meanwhile, we're getting ready for our own semifinals match, as they've been patiently waiting this entire time. Much love here to our 2 Terran players, as up next we have a TvT between Ryung and Nicaract. Just need a moment to set that up and to get things going. GG, well played. As I'm just very quickly setting up those, setting up that series. And my apologies to you, Thermal. You have to wait a little bit longer. You have to wait a little bit longer here. Rest up, Bappy. Rest up. Get some food. Get some food. But congratulations to Gerald, and a shout out to Migs as well. Shout out to Vindicta. For holding his own, and again, like, despite being down like a 3 base economy, it was insane how far behind Migs was economically compared to Gerald. Despite that, both in game 1 and in game 2, Migs, he was taking better fights, taking better engagements. He was able to hold his own, despite that fact. In the end, he was overwhelmed. In the end, he couldn't necessarily overcome that disadvantage for too much longer, but was impressive nonetheless.